So in your experience, I mean, you use terms like table turning, gaslighting. I would imagine this is probably a very common reason why women doubt their intuitions in responding to this whole thing, that they start to think that they're asking for too much. But, you know, as I look at it in a relationship, to me, a healthy relationship is kind of like buying a car. When you buy a car, if the dealer is trying to make you feel like you're asking for some premium upgrades when all you want is what's standard, and they're like, oh, you want tires on the car too? I mean, that's a lot to ask. I mean, that's going to be a couple extra thousands. You're like, look, I'm not asking for like sunroofs and glittery paint and all this stuff. Like, I just want tires. If you're being treated by a car dealer like standard options are upgrades, you're probably at the wrong dealership to begin with. But so they're causing you to doubt yourself. So maybe spend a minute, if you would, just kind of explain, what is table turning? Like, what does gaslighting look like? And how does that cause you to doubt your intuitions? And how do you walk out of that fog to realize that your feelings are a barometer of the truth, not an indication that you're out of touch with reality?
Table turning is a way to turn the problem around onto me when the problem is not me, to somehow avoid confronting it, dealing with it. It seems that in addiction, like when someone is active in their addiction, that they're doing everything to protect the addiction. So whether or not they're doing it consciously or unconsciously, I don't know. But that and like gaslighting, just completely denying that things are real. There's one resource that I would definitely recommend for these kind of things, because it goes into depth of like what that actually looks like, and like knowing these kind of terms will help decrease the fog, because then you learn how to hear something and be like, ooh, I know that that is denial. I know that that is this. And the less fog you are in, the better you can make decisions for yourself. And I think it's definitely easy to when you are sure of something and someone else just completely denies it, then, and that's supposed to be someone that's like really close to you, that you trust well, or things like that, like when they say no, then you're like, well, this person should have my best interest at mind, right? Like, okay, then, well, they're denying it, so maybe I'm just like making a scene, or maybe I'm just making things up, or maybe it's just all in my head, because you just I guess you just believe that people have your best interests in mind, and that could very well be true. But then when an addiction is like in play, it hijacks who that person is. Yeah. They're in so much shame, likely, and they're scared of what will happen if like the truth is confronted, and there's so many things like going underneath that. So it's not like just this monster. So it is easy to just question yourself, and especially when you don't have that support that's telling you that you are not crazy, that is completely normal to like feel crazy when crazy things are happening around you, but you're not the crazy one. When you don't know these terms, when you don't have words for experience, I find that it's more challenging to just be like, well, I don't know what it is. And so again, that support and that group, just to helping you just see your reality, to face it. And sometimes I think that it's easier to go into denial yourself than to be like, no, he's actually lying right now. Yeah. So there's that like denial of the other person and your own denial, that you're just like, okay, well, you just can pretend that it's just not happening anymore, or it's not happening. It's not for real.
Yeah. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to try to take an active effort to learn the vocabulary of dysfunctional communication skills, of just to be able to identify, okay, that's gaslighting, that is denial. that is deflection, that is table turning, this is this, because then you realize in the midst of all this craziness, like, okay, I'm observing what's going on. I'm not simply absorbing what's happening. I'm able to stand emotionally at a distance a little bit and analyze it effectively. Because one of the things you mentioned is that, if an addict, is locked in on this addiction, they're protecting the addiction. So they don't really have any time to protect you. They're protecting their ego, their shame, the addiction. I mean, that's the thing that needs to get protected. And so you got to get lost to the wayside. But you had mentioned in your email that these women deserve to be protected, but you said by themselves and by others. I think a lot of times we think it's like the other person's job to protect us. And that's true. I mean, in a healthy relationship, there is transparency, there's honesty, there's fierce loyalty. And so the other is protecting you. But more foundational even to that is protecting yourself. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that little clip, but if you want to see the whole episode where this came from, just click the link here. And in the meantime, we want to invite you to help us share this message, and there's a couple things you can do real quick. Number one, if you like or comment or share this video, YouTube will actually show it to more people. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. We release videos every single day, and you'll be notified as soon as those come out. If you want to help us also to spread this message, you can support us at patreon.com/Jason Evert. That helps us to create these videos and show them to the whole world. God bless.